Unit 10. A Matter of Time. Page 64. Exercise 2. Perspectives. Quiz Show. Part B. Now listen and check your answers. What information is the most surprising?
1. When was the first home video game console released?
B. In 1972.
2. How long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States?
C. Since 1800.
3. How long were the Beatles together?
B. For 10 years.
4. When did World War I take place?
A. During the 1910s.
Page 65. Exercise 3. Grammar focus. Referring to time in the past. A point or period of time in the past.
When was the first video game console released?
During the 1970s. In the 1970s. Over 40 years ago.
How long were the Beatles together?
From 1960 to 1970. For 10 years.
A period of time that continues into the present.
How long has Washington, D.C. been the capital of the United States?
Since 1800. For about 220 years.
Page 65. Exercise 4. Pronunciation. Syllable stress. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice which syllable has the main stress in these 4 and 5 syllable words. Notice the secondary stress.
Identify. Disadvantage. Communication.
Page 65. Exercise 4. Part B. Listen to the words in the box. Which syllable has the main stress? Write the words in the correct column in Part A.
Appreciate. Assassination. Catastrophe. Consideration. Conversation. Revolution.
Page 67. Exercise 9. Conversation. I'll be their first guest. Part A. Listen and practice.
Would you want to spend a vacation in space?
No thanks. I'd rather go to the beach. Would you?
Of course I would. I'd stay longer, too. Do you think we'll have colonies on Mars in 20 or 30 years?
I don't know. Considering how fast we're destroying the Earth, we won't be living here for much longer.
I'm serious. You know, international space agencies are investing a lot of money in research to develop more powerful rockets.
Well, I guess that within 50 years, we'll have set up a research center on Mars, but not a colony.
You're probably right. But I'm sure some company will have built a resort on the moon by then, and I'll be their first guest.
Page 67. Exercise 10. Grammar focus. Predicting the future with will. Use will to predict future events or situations.
We will spend vacations in space. We won't have colonies on Mars.
Use future continuous to predict ongoing actions.
Human beings will be living on another planet. We won't be living here.
Use future perfect to predict actions that will be completed by a certain time.
Within 50 years, we will have set up a research center on Mars. By 2050, a company will have built a resort on the moon.
Page 68. Exercise 11. Listening. Not in our lifetime. Part A. Listen to people discuss changes that will affect these topics in the future. Write down 2 changes for each topic. 1. Crime.
Well, I think crime will completely change in the future.
How so?
Nowadays, people use their debit and credit cards more than they use cash. How we spend money is changing. I think there will be less street crime in the future. Crime will become more intelligent and digital. There will be more computer hacker criminals.
That sounds more serious.
I know. Crimes will definitely become more severe. Instead of stealing some cash from my purse, a criminal could go online to my bank account and steal a lot more. It's scary to think about.
2. Space travel.
Do you really think people will live in space in the future? I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, definitely. I think within 100 years, people will be living on other planets.
Really? Like you and I could be living on another planet?
Well, not in our lifetime. But I think within the next 50 years, humans will have traveled to other galaxies.
Yes, I agree with that. And what about extraterrestrial life? Will we have made contact with aliens from other galaxies?
I don't know. But if we do, I sure hope they're friendly.
3. Environment.
Every time I read the newspaper, there's another environmental disaster. Do you think environmental problems will eventually become a thing of the past?
Definitely. There are some amazing ideas to clean up our oceans. I think in the next 20 years, we will have cleaned up all the trash in the oceans.
I sure hope so. Some of those garbage patches in the ocean are larger than some countries.
I know. I read that non-biodegradable trash is the biggest problem in the oceans and on land.
Non-biodegradable trash, like plastic?
Exactly. I think in the next 30 years, we will have eliminated plastic and found materials to use that are better for the environment.
4. Energy.
You know, I was reading this article about energy of the future. Fossil fuels like oil and coal have become our main energy sources.
Yeah, but we need safer energy.
This article says we're making progress with other kinds of energy. It predicts that in 50 years, we will be using only green energy sources, like wind and solar energy.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And it said that with electronic devices, we won't have to wait for them to charge. We'll be able to charge our phones or computers in just a few minutes.
5. Money.
With all the technology we use every day, sometimes it feels strange that we're still using paper money that can rip or get damaged.
Yeah, it seems old-fashioned next to credit cards with chips and sensors, doesn't it? It's just a matter of time before paper money isn't made at all anymore.
You think so?
Definitely. No one will use cash, and everyone will have cards.
If that happens, then I think everyone in the world will eventually use the same currency.
So only one currency and no more cash? It sounds a lot easier, but I'm sure there will be new problems too.
Oh, there always are.
Units 9 to 10. Progress check. Page 71. Exercise 3. Listening. Important world events. Part A. Listen to people discuss the questions. Write the correct answers. 1.
Did I ever tell you that when I was little, I wanted to be an astronaut?
No, you didn't.
I remember watching Neil Armstrong land on the moon. Do you remember the date?
July 20th, 1969, right?
That's right.
2.
Hey, we should start planning a trip for the next World Cup.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
I was watching this documentary. Did you know that in the first World Cup in Uruguay, only 13 countries participated?
Wow, what a difference. I think there were 32 countries in the last tournament.
Yeah, a lot has changed since 1930.
3.
What are you reading?
It's an article about the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. They're talking about what the contaminated area is like now. Did you know that a few hundred elderly people never left Chernobyl? They didn't want to leave their homes.
I can't believe that. It seems so dangerous.
Do you remember the year?
It was in 1986, right?
Yep. Good memory.
4.
Mom, can you help me with this project?
Sure. What is it about?
I'm talking about the Titanic, but I need one more fact.
Let me see. I know that they took from 1909 to 1911 to build it. More than 3,000 people helped build it.
Really? That's perfect! Thanks, Mom!
5.
It's almost the anniversary of the Indian Ocean tsunami. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Did you know it only took 15 minutes after the quake for the waves to reach the coast of Sumatra?
Wow, that's fast. Let me see if I remember the date. It was in 2004, right?
Yep, December 26th, 2004.
I read the waves were 100 feet high in some places. Can you imagine?